Hi, everyone. This is Mark Plunkett, the pastor of Heritage Presbyterian Church, with another of our weekly devotionals, this time focusing on Matthew chapter 2, the story of the Magi. Now, this word Magi has been translated and mistranslated and retranslated for 2,000 years. What is usually said in church history, church custom, beware of that word, church custom, is that there were three kings. Okay? The word magi or magioi in Greek does not mean kings. They could have been wise men. That's a good word for them. Astrologers, that's a word that we don't think very highly of in today's society. We think of astrology as being like, the movement of the stars decides what kind of personality you have or whether or not you should get married or anything like that. We can't exactly call them astronomers, although that's pretty close, I think, for 2,000 years ago. Astronomers usually studied the skies, but astronomers nowadays have telescopes. They had nothing like that back 2,000 years ago. We also aren't 100% sure where they came from. My personal favorite theory is that they came from Babylon. And the Babylonians were known as people who studied the stars. And so it could have been that these men at night would study the stars and would track the movements. They did that in the olden days, that's for sure. And they saw something. They saw some kind of a star. That's what they called it anyway. Could have been a meteorite, could have been a comet. Again, my personal favorite theory is that it was a comet. And they followed it. And so it came from Babylon in the east toward Jerusalem. And they followed it toward Jerusalem because Bethlehem is not too far from Jerusalem. And so then they came into Jerusalem and they started asking, where's the newborn king of the Jews? And it kind of freaked everybody out. But these magi, these magioi, whoever they were important enough that not only did their words frighten everybody, but it got everybody's attention too, especially crazy old King Herod. Crazy old paranoid King Herod. And so King Herod invites him in, hey, find out where the child is. And then come back and tell me so that I can go worship him too. That old rat's going to go. But they didn't know it. He must have put on a good act for them. But again, whoever they were important. So that word magi, I don't think of them as kings. I do think of them as wise men. That's a good word for them. But magi, whoever they were mysterious. And what's important about them is not whether or not they were kings or astrologers or astronomers or wise men or whatever. What's important about them is not that they came into Jerusalem and freaked everybody out by saying, where's the newborn king of the Jews? What's important about them is that they came. That's the important part. Whoever they were, wherever they were from, they came. And they brought gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. All kinds of symbolism in the gold and the frankincense and the myrrh. All kinds of things that those three gifts could have been used for. Symbolizing the gold being that Jesus was a king. Frankincense was a burial, kind of an incense that was used. And myrrh was an oil that was used to embalm dead bodies, symbolizing Jesus' death, but also very expensive gifts that could have been sold. And that may have been how Joseph and Mary survived in Egypt when they were forced to flee by crazy old King Herod, when he was going around killing every child, trying to find where that newborn king of the Jews was. And all because the magioi, the magi, showed up. But whoever they were, the important thing is that they came. They came, they worshiped Jesus when they found him, baby Jesus, or perhaps just an older infant. We don't actually know. But when they found him, they fell down and worshiped. They offered the gifts. And then when they were going to go back, they were warned in a dream not to go back to Herod. So again, whoever they were important enough and vital enough to the safety of Jesus that God sent an angel, talked to them in a dream. And so they went home another way. So they came and they went back. And they did what they were supposed to do. And that's the story of the Magi. Amen.